Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In yesterday's video I took a look at Deadmines on Horde week with no talents, and this time let's take a look at Deadmines Horde week Grommash Hellscream, what it looks like when you do it with a full talented build. First, let's recap the boss mechanics. First, we have Mr. Smite here. Sabers and pistols then anchors away, and Mr. Smite it's really a tough fight, because Mr. Smite is going to get so much stuff for free. All of this stuff is going to respawn for free, these device bandits are going to respawn for free, there's going to be Stonehoof torrents that are going to come through this pipe, they're also going to be free, and that's in addition to everything that Mr. Smite has to actually pay gold for. So that's a big challenge. My main strategy for Mr. Smite is to take this meeting stone and control this area where there's 2 gold nodes. There's 1 gold vein over there on the other side. But I want to control this and I want to push at Mr. Smite from this side. And I'm mostly focused on defending the other side. There are various methods to defend that. Some people like to use like wellbacks that they drop on the pipe to intercept the torrents. You can split your footmen, for example, here. There's a few things that you can do to defend, but hit from the right and kill Mr. Smite. The second boss in Deadmines is Cookie, and Cookie is also going to get a ton of stuff for free, just like Mr. Smite, although this is in some ways a little bit more manageable for him, because there's going to be these strike teams, and they're going to come from the left and then from the right, and then they're going to go down the same lane. So you need some way to handle this strike team. Some people use like Flame Burst Wellback, some people use Living Bomb, some people use Blizzard. Living Bomb is my personal favorite. With a Living Bomb, if you use it when they're near the tower, then they may blow up the tower depending on the level of your Living Bomb. If you use it already when they're here near the Cookie, then they will also damage Cookie when they blow up. So Living Bomb is just what I love to use in this map. I typically only take this leftmost tower. There's a couple of chests here and you have access to mining this. That means that if you don't have a dark iron miner, you can't mine this node, but that's completely acceptable. Typically only take the left tower, blow up stuff with Living Bomb and push at Cookie. Taking the other towers, some other strategies too, but that's the one that I like to use. And finally, the third boss in Deadmines is Sneed, and Sneed main mechanic is these copying pads. Whenever these pads sparkle, the next mini that's going to step on them is going to be destroyed, and it's going to be made into multiple copies that come from here under Sneed's control. Sneed also has Molten Giants, so if you let a Molten Giant get on the pad when it's sparkly, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of Molten Giants, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. There's a couple of things about this map. One is that this bridge is actually really important, because if you control this bridge and if you have ranged minis on this bridge, then they will shoot down at whatever comes out from here. So I've actually defeated Molten Giant pushes by just having minis shoot from here and then killing the Molten Giants. And another thing is that you actually have some control over what's going to be copied, because if you use unbound minis, you can just drop unbound minis here when the platform becomes sparkly, and then that mini is going to be copied. Or you can use unbound minis to distract the Molten Giant to prevent it from getting copied. It's also a good idea to send miners constantly over the bridge, mine this, go over the bridge, because then your miners will often end up being copied. So you can work around this mechanic a bunch. Other than that, I like to push left, I like to take this tower, then I take this tower, and then I push at Sneed from here, and then Sneed will die unless too many bad things get copied and I somehow get overwhelmed by those. So this is the army that I use when I have talents included. So I have Grommash. Grommash has mirror images, but Savage Strikes could do as well. Then I have Frostwolf Shaman, and Frostwolf Shaman has the Earth Shield, so Frostwolf Shaman can give Armored. And that's already like the first big difference doing this talented or talentless, because Shaman that can give Grommash Armored. Armored Grommash is pretty serious, but Shaman that cannot give Grommash Armored, well then that's just a little bit lackluster. Then I have Batrider. Batrider has the slow effect, but many people use the enlarged area as well, that's fine. I have Footmen. I actually haven't found my Footman talent yet. I'm trying to get the stun talent on them, but now that they are in a build with Shaman, so they could also have the fortification talents, they could have the extra health, Shaman would make that work as well, even though Footmen already are armored, of course. Then I have the Device Bandits. The only talent I have on Bandits is Picklock one, but Poison would probably be better for this specific dungeon. Then I have Wellbecks with Flame Burst, obviously, and I have Safe Pilot. I use the Coming in Hot talent on my Safe Pilot, but obviously the Gnomish Cloaking Device would work as well. And as you can see in this comp, I do not have a Living Bomb. I do love Living Bomb in this dungeon, but now between the Flameburst eggs and then Safe Pilot having additional damage, whether it's from coming in hot or whether it's from the smoking device, then either way, these provide so much damage that now it's possible to do Cookie without the Living Bomb. And I don't really like Blizzard that much, so I really prefer to use these then in combination, and now talents that's possible. And that also means I don't need the Pyromancer here either. Wellpecks are just so good, and that opens up some space, so that space can be used to put in the Shaman, and now the Shaman can give Grommash Armored, and that means that Grommash is just going to be a lethal killing machine. So, as you can see, doing this without talents or doing this with talents are really two different things. Without talents, you have to think about some different things, and then talents just come in and compensate for some of the weaknesses, allowing you to explore even further power upgrades for the army. And yeah, this is just a beautiful army for this dungeon, and this is what it all looks like in action. So first up we have Mr. Smite, and the plan is to get Grommash with Armored, go and beat up Mr. Smite. I start with similar as with no talents, I split push a little bit with the Footman. That helps me defend both sides. I want to take the Meeting Stone, and I have some Wellpecks available, so we'll use those to pick it up. Anything will do, really. And now that fight is going on, but I'm trying to save a little bit of gold. I'm trying to get my first Grommash plus Armored push going. The half of the Footmen that I sent to the left are now defending well over there. We can get Grommash plus Armored, and now Armored Grom. As you can see, Armored Grom is not taking a lot of damage, especially with Shaman healing it. I just add a little bit of DPS with the Bat Rider, and off we go. The Footmen have finally fallen, but as you can see, they weakened the enemies a lot. So now everything is looking fine. Tauren arrived, but I have another set of Wellpecks. Setting those up for the Tauren. Well, actually Tauren ignores them. I was hoping that Tauren would attack them, but hey, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We go for another split push with the Footmen. We have the Wellpecks guarding basically our base at the moment, and the Armored Grom in the meanwhile has been fighting. And Armored Grom, I mean, it just keeps going. Look at that. Boss is less than half health and Grom is still alive. That's the power of Armored, and that is not available if you don't have talents. And that's 17 Grom against 19 boss too, so yeah, boom, Smite is down. Then we're going up against Cookie, and this time our basic plan, take the left tower and start pushing. I send my Defiance Bandits, who are experts at opening some chests. I send a miner to start mining a little bit from the right side, and now I'm waiting to set up Flameburst eggs plus Safe Pilot on top of the first army that's coming. Little bit could have positioned them better to get that Griffin Rider. That's a little unfortunate, because Griffin Rider now surviving means that it's just going to be uncontested there, because I only have 2 units here that can contest it, which are the Shaman and the Safe Pilot. Well, I guess the Wellbecks, so I have 3 units actually. Anyway, we got it down. And now the team is on its way. I really want to pick up the chest, and I clicked the button a little bit too early. Could have sent the Bat Rider out on the push as well, but it's totally fine. And now, instead of the Living Bomb, we're doing eggs plus Safe Pilot to contest the army, and the Armored Grom has reached the assault. We're sending out some Footmen from the main base, so they're defending the main base. Look at that Armored Grom right there. Just look at it blasting away. Sadly, Cookie managed to survive that. I was hoping, but I mean, it was only a 17 level Grom, it was -2 levels, so yeah. And now Cookie is getting lower, so we're just starting to attack Cookie with some unbounds, and boom, Cookie is down as well. And then it's time to take on Sneed. I don't have a ton of unbound minis here, so controlling what gets copied can be a little tricky. But on the other hand, I have a lot of damage here and a lot of range damage, so I know that no matter what gets copied, I can always just get stuff on the bridge, and stuff on the bridge is going to handle that. At least I hope it's going to handle that. Well, we're going to see how it works. I'm trying to send some miners through the middle path. Like you can see now, the copier is active, my miner is approaching it, so things are looking good. My miner gets copied. Well, it would have been copied, the enemy miner, if it wasn't mine, so I guess that was actually a bit of a downside. Well, be that as it may, we're trying to get some Armored Grom bushes going. Go Armored Groms, go. Now it's actually an armored shaman. I messed up a little bit with the Groms, but hey, now Molten Giants get copied. Oh no, what am I going to do? I don't even have any damage talents or anything, or relics. I do have talents. So, well, not to worry. I have plenty of damage. Plenty. So starting with the eggs, adding some more with Safe Pilot. I have some stun abilities with the Defias. I'm not concerned in the slightest by the arrival of the Molten Giants. Well, maybe I'm a little concerned, but not in any major way, because as you can see, Molten Giants control of the bridge, and you shoot down from the bridge. Like now, Ogre Mages are coming, and look at that Batrider, just raining death upon the Ogre Mages. That bridge is just so beautiful. When you control the bridge, bad stuff that gets copied can still be handled. The really key is holding on to this tower on the right, because I find that sometimes I get focused on the stuff that gets copied and I lose control of the tower on the right, and then I fail to make the push, so I don't actually have enough damage to kill Sneed. But now I have the tower, and that means that I have the troops, and the troops are going in, and let's go and blast. Only thing that's really missing from there is the shaman. Here I'm a little worried that the Molten Giant might get copied, so I'm trying to distract the Molten Giant, but probably I should have just focused on the push. Probably the Molten Giant wasn't that much of a threat, and the copier wasn't active either, so I think I might have had a chance to end it all there if I had just went through with it. But be that as it may, now I can drop a Safe Pilot. See, drop it on the bridge. It kills stuff below the bridge really, really effectively, and it remains perfectly safe. That's just wonderful. And also with the Safe Pilot having talent, so that it has more health, deals more damage, and that's just awesome. Safe Pilot gets copied. I'm not concerned. We're going in. Sneed is in our sight. We have Armored Grom fighting against Sneed. So what can Sneed even do? Like, alright, Sneed was able to finally get it down, but Sneed is so low. And then there's Flameburst eggs. And then now all I need is a Safe Pilot, so I'm thinking, okay, what do? I need to cycle a little bit so that I can find a Safe Pilot. Thinking of whether I do another push, but then I realized, no, it's the Safe Pilot. Let's just play something cheap until I find a Safe Pilot, and there's a Safe Pilot, and then I can drop that on Sneed, and then Sneed will die, and it's over. And boom. Easy. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.